Okay guys, welcome back, and in this tutorial we're in Capture One. We'll be dragging the pictures we want to edit. Actually, I don't want to work on this cake. I have some few photos which I took from days back, and I'll be working on those photos. So if you will be following me for this tutorial, you will just, for me, I saved mine in my desktop, and I think I have them here in new folder. Just two beautiful pictures of same lady. Her name is Favor. So I'll select those pictures. To work on these pictures using Capture One and Photoshop, first thing, I'll select the pictures, take them to Capture One, and drop it in. Capture One will ask me to do what? It will import those pictures I selected here, and I'll leave them checked and click on the import button. Then the next step is, let's see what we have. Okay, I have this and this. In this picture, I'll be starting with what I want to balance my lights. So it's advisable before you start editing any picture, the first step, straight out of camera, your picture should look nice. I guess I just dragged this and I dropped it here. I take my pictures in raw format, that is the NEF raw. I made use of Nikon D5100 to take these pictures, and my white balance was on manual settings. So if your camera, the white balance, maybe you put it on flash or direct sunlight, and what you're getting is cool for you, pretty cool. But for me, I use the manual setup where my Kelvin is at 4954 and the tint is at -1.6. So if you want to make it of the same exact picture, and you take a picture and you want to get the same pattern of mine, I guess you have to adjust your Kelvin and your tint in Capture One to get the same look. Else we might be having a pretty kind of different result. So now, coming to Capture One, the first step I'll take is to click on my adjustment layer, which is this auto adjust. Under auto adjust, we have different layers there. We have the white balance, exposure, contrast, and brightness. We have the high dynamic range, and also we have the levels. We have the rotation and the keystone. Now, the exposure, if you notice something here, I marked the exposure, the high dynamic range, and the levels. Those are the three things I want my Capture One to like adjust for me. And the exposure is this layer, the high dynamic range is this, and my levels is this one. We also have lots of sliders there, of which I might not be tampering with each and every one of them. So click the auto adjust. I'm pretty cool. This is what I have. Let me check. We have the before and after here. If I click on before, this is what we have before, and this is what we have after clicking on the auto adjustment. Mind you, this might work fine for some image, at the same time it might not work fine for some image. The exposure might be high or low, so it's up to you. If you're cool with what you're seeing, fine. If you're not cool with it, then you have the right to do what? Adjust each and every one of this layer. So since I'm cool with what I'm having here, I might want to make little adjustments. I'll click on my exposure warning. This is what it does. It will show me red on the overburnt area where there's excess kind of light. And if I check my picture, the lady here in person, her skin is pretty cool. It's not that overexposed, but if you check, some parts of it are having the red, showing that these areas are too exposed. And to take that off, I'll bring down my highlights a little bit. Okay, see, I'm comfortable with it. So if you notice, I'm cool with this. They are no longer there. I know it's still showing here, but I can adjust that manually or when I'm in Photoshop if really I feel like. But for now, my concern is my subject, and since her body is no longer exposed, I'm cool with what I'm having. So I'll turn off this layer, this exposure warning. then I'll copy what I just did, click on the next image and apply. If there are lots of them, I'll Ctrl A to select all, then I'll click on apply. So exactly what I did here is what I'm having here. Then if really what I'm having here is not that cool with me, then I might feel like making little adjustment, but I guess it worked fine for it. So what next? We'll move down to Photoshop. And how do we do that? You select your image, maybe you press the control button and pick the ones you want to work on, or you press Ctrl A to select all, then right click, click on edit with, and select the software you'll be using, which is Adobe Photoshop. Mine is Adobe Photoshop CC 2019. Then I click the edit button. Now in this part we have the format 8-bit. The format is in TIF, so whatever I save in Photoshop automatically do what save itself in Capture One. The ICC profile is in sRGB, the resolution 300, the scale is fixed, and which is at 100%. Now the ICC profile, save it in sRGB with these other codes around it. Why? There are lots of them there, but I prefer this one because it will help me to like maintain the color. Whatever I'm seeing on my laptop screen will be exactly the same thing I will be getting in my phone. Mind you me, if really what you're seeing is not cool and the colors are not popping out on your phone, I'll give you little tips. Come here to this search button on your window. You search for adjust filter. So ADJUST, adjust filter. I guess I'm wrong. Let me type filter. Okay, we have color filter and we have adjust color filter. So let me search for this adjust color filter. If you click on that, you will see something like this. It might be turned off. If it's turned off on your system, check. This is what you'll be having. You can see this. This is what you'll be having. But let's say it's turned on. You turn it on and you click on it. If you turn it on, it might be on grayscale, which is the black and white. But no, you pick the red green, and if you click on this red green, it's turned on. You'll be having something popping like this. Let's say before we have something like turned off. This is what we are having. And you turn it on, and this is what we are having now. I guess this is cool, so you don't have to start increasing your saturation or all of that, thinking that your picture is not really giving you what you want. So since it's turned on, I'll close this and move to the next, which is right click, edit with Adobe Photoshop. And like I said earlier, TIF format 8-bit, sRGB 300, the resolution, the scale is fixed at 100, and I click edit variant.